it's a pleasure to be here. Yes, I think to talk about income from nature, we need to talk about communities. I think they are doing by themselves a very good job, and I think we need to learn a lot from them. And let me go directly to this picture, because this picture I took it in a community with the help of my friend David Castro, that it's in front of this huge group of fish. And this community, the name is Cabo Pumo, it's in Baja California. And after working there for almost 15 years, it took me 3 years to take that picture, to have the right conditions, because I want to capture this moment that basically explain these three things, or for me, I think explain these three things. How Cabo Pumo community is preserving the circle of life, how they have become stewards of nature, and when these two things happen at the same time, you can see great economic benefits or economic impacts. So let me start with what is happening with the fish. The fish, they are in the reproduction season. They do a very elaborated courtship behaviors. They gather in a huge numbers, huge, 4,000, 5,000 fish. They only have one objective, that is to mate. And you can see that they form this river of fish in the surface, and then some days before the full moon, all the fish go down, and then you can see the river flowing on the bottom of the sandy areas. And one day before the full moon, they start forming these big fish balls. It's probably 15 meters high, this ball, and then suddenly start gyrating, and you can see that some pairs of fish come out from the ball. The black one is the male, the silver one is the female, and just during the sunset of the full moon, you can see all the pairs forming again. Males are as the shadow of the females, and all together they spawn. So you can see that this is a circle of life. There are the spawning aggregations, then the larvae grow or born in the open water. They, in some way, they find the coastal habitats like mangroves, kelp forests, seagrasses, and they spend sometimes as a nursery habitat there, and then go back to the offshore where they found or find the shallow reefs and the deep reefs. So what humans do? Well, we fish these aggregations, and we target these aggregations, we target these sites, and in a very few minutes, we can extract all the fish that I show you in the picture at the beginning of my presentation. And all the eggs, most of the time they finish in the landfill, and basically we waste all the energy that the fish produce to have these new generations. And what we have been doing with the coastal habitats like mangroves, well, we are destroying them in the same way, even that they embrace and protect many of these juvenile fishes that basically are juveniles of commercial species that later we fish as an adult. So I don't want to bore you with scientific results, but we have the data, we have the evidence that show that when there is more mangroves, there are more fisheries landings, and also there is more money for the community. So we have this evidence, and not only for the coastal habitats, also for the spawning aggregation. So this is very important. So let me come back to the picture, and now let me tell you about David's story. Is the human side of this picture. He belongs to this family, the Castro family, and his dad and his uncles, they decided 20 years ago to close the area, to don't fish in that area. And again, I don't want to bother you with all this scientific data, but you can see here how we have measure the change in Cabo Pumo in these last 20 years. And basically, if I take you right now to dive in Cabo Pumo, what you will see are pictures like these, amazing groups of grounds, snappers, groupers that can reach 2.5 meters in length. Some of these reefs are very, very productive: sardines, surgeon fishes, even parrotfishes that are very, very big, and they are the ones that are in charge of cleaning the rocks and open space for corals and other animals. So you can see that the reefs are in a very healthy state. Groupers, carnivores like moray eels, they hunt together in a way that probably hasn't been described in such these numbers. And for me, Cabo Pumo is like going back in time, and maybe this is the reason why, or what Jacques Cousteau saw in the Sea of Cortez and named it the aquarium of the world. And now these guys are coming back. This is a bush shark that we know that born close or inside Cabo Pumo, but we have seen tiger sharks, white-tip reef sharks, silky sharks, like 11 species of sharks. Every year they are coming more and more often, and this is what we need, especially to maintain the productivity of the reef. So after all these sacrifices done by the community, now it's very famous everywhere. Everyone wants to come there and dive, but these guys are very, very smart. Why? Because they go out, they take sport fishermen, they go out and they fish tuna, wahoo, and they bring other people to dive inside the park, and they don't fish inside the park. So they can show them all the magnificent life that you can see inside the park. And now there are more and more people paying a lot of money to dive, for example, with sharks that, as you may know, they are overfished in many parts of the planet. And this is the group of yaks that I showed you at the beginning of my presentation, and they also take snorkelers to see this group, amazing group of yaks, and the income that they generate right now overpass the average income per capita in Mexico. So let me finish with these ideas. I love the guys or the community from Cabo Pumo, but I think there are other communities in Mexico and also in other places, as we have seen during these days in this summit, that they are fighting to have better or healthier environments. And I have been traveling, trying to document these things. For example, this is Yelapa. It's very close to Puerto Vallarta. And what they are trying to do is to save these big manta rays. The community there, they have changed their fishing gears. And basically what they want to achieve is to increase the manta population in order to bring tourists and have the encounters with this animal and basically increase the economic benefits that they can produce with these interactions. Or this is Humberto and his uncle Abel, that they live in a very spectacular mangrove area in Chiapas. And what they have been doing is they go and find the nest of this species, the American crocodile, get the juvenile just when they hatch from the eggs, and they take care of them for 1 or 2 months and then release them back to the lagoon. So they have been doing this for 20 years, and now the population of one of the top predators of mangroves and coastal lagoons, they have come back, and in that way the lagoon is more productive, and now more and more birds you can see more and more birds in this lagoon, and this is generating more money for them. This is the guys from Boca de Camichin, and they are fighting to protect this. This is the San Pedro Mezquital River. It's the last river in Mexico that is flowing free. There is no dams in this river. And why they are trying to do that? Because they have this oyster farm in the mouth of the river. And they put the seeds of these oysters, the larvae, at the beginning of the rain season. Basically, the nutrients that come from the high mountains are brought by the river flow. And at the end of the rain season, basically, they harvest a huge amount of oysters without any investment. And finally, this is another one. This is fishermen from the southern part of Baja California, El Pardito. They are implementing these no-take areas that are called fisheries refuges, basically trying to protect some species, but in particular, they are very interested in protect these devil rays that during the day they do these acrobatic jumps out of the water, but at night they congregate in a very, very huge numbers. So there are tourists that now are paying to have one of these trips, and rather to overfish these resources with their nets, basically they are protecting these species to generate incomes for their communities. So everywhere I go, I think there are more and more people that are trying to protect the environment, and they want more healthier ecosystems. And we believe that these stories should be told, and that is the reason why we create this series, Voces del Mar, Voices from the Sea. Basically, it's a series of documentaries that are shared through social media, basically to share with everyone why it's important to protect the circle of life, why it's important that these communities have become stewards of the nature, and if these two things happen at the same time, basically the economic benefits that they are receiving are very, very high. So please find us at Mares Mexicanos, because we are diving deeper into these stories. Thank you.